Good morning, everyone. I wonder if it's been a week or more that I couldn't upload any videos as I literally was swamped and couldn't take the time for making the videos. Anyway, today we shall be learning about one important topic of grammar again, and that is active and passive voice. So, voices in English grammar has two types, and those are active voice and passive voice. Let us learn about these two topics in a detailed manner. However, before that, let us first learn about English sentence structure. Normally, English sentences has three parts. You can see from the examples. In the first sentence, I have a phone. I is the subject, have is a verb, and a phone is an object. Another important thing for beginners to remember is subject is something or someone who or which is acting, and object is the one who is acted upon. Check the second sentence. I like video games, where I is subject, like is a verb, and video games is an object. So you can read the remaining numbers of sentences as well, where subjects are written in green, verb with red, and an object with blue. Let's learn more from the page as well. Here, the sentence, the dog ate the bone, the first sentence, dog is subject, ate is verb, and bone is object. Second sentence, the child threw the ball, child is subject, threw is verb, and the ball is object. I think that's enough learning about subjects and objects. Now, let us get to the main topic of today, and that is active and passive voice. In English grammar, verbs have 5 properties: voice, mood, tense, person, and number. Here, we are concerned with voice. The two grammatical voices are active voice and passive voice. Now, in the next slide, I have given some examples, so check those examples first. I'm sure you'll be able to differentiate between the two. I teach students. Here, teach students. I teach students is an active voice, and when it is changed to passive voice, the sentence or correct answer will be students are taught by me. The major rule you need to remember here is the interchange of places of subject and object. Remember, if you're transforming the active voice to passive voice, you will have to interchange the places of subject and object. Observe the sentence. I teach students, where I is subject, teach is verb, and students is object. Now bring the object students to the subject I's place. So student after that, add the helping verb are, because students is plural. So students are, the verb teach will become the past participle taught. That way, your answer becomes students are taught. After that, add the word by, and then add the subject I, which becomes me in the passive voice. So your complete answer is students are taught by me. Very simple, right? So what is a voice in English grammar? Voice, if you check from the dictionary, according to dictionary, is a noun which means sound, whereas grammar, according to grammar, it is a form of verb which shows whether the subject of the sentence is the doer or the one who is doing, or the receiver or the one who is receiving the action. Let us learn about the same in more detailed manner. So what is voice? Voice is a characteristic of verbs which indicates the relation of the verb's action to its subject. What kind of relation? Alright? So the voice of a verb may be either active voice or passive voice. So we will be learning about each voice, that is active and passive voice, in detail. So what is active voice? In the active voice, the subject of the sentence directly performs the action denoted by the verb. For example, I teach the students. Here, I is the word which is acting. Alright? So therefore, here the subject is acting. And that's what happens in the active voice. Next, we have passive voice. What is an passive voice? The students are taught by me. You can get this example. First, check the definition. In the passive voice, the subject of the sentence receives or experiences the action rather than performing it. So, the students are taught by me. Here, student was becomes subject, and this has been acted upon. Now, let's learn what to write in the passive voice when we are converting subject to the place of object. If you're converting subject to the place of object, I becomes me in passive voice, we becomes us in passive voice, you becomes a you in passive voice, he becomes him, she becomes her, etc. And we will always use by when we are talking about passive voice. Now, let's learn in this page on how to transform the sentences depending on the tenses of the verb. Now, here in one side I've written tenses, in the middle active, and the other one we have passive voices. Now, your sentence will always depend on the tense of the verb, like how to transform when the sentence given is in present simple, when it is in present continuous, present perfect, past simple, past continuous, past perfect, future simple, future perfect, infinitive, and modals. I play football. If the given sentence is in present simple tense, your answer in the passive voice will be football is played by me. Present continuous, he is buying a sports bike. Your answer will be a sports bike is being bought by him if you're transforming the sentence to passive voice. Now, how to transform the sentence when the given sentence is in simple past tense. In active voice, simple past tense, we use second form of verb, whereas in passive voice, we use was or were plus third form of the verb. Example, if in the active voice it's girl clicked selfie, in the passive, selfie was clicked by girl. Check this page and understand the transformation. Here also, as in the previous page or previous examples, I have divided these 3 columns, and in one column I've written tense, the other active, and the other one I've written passive voice. So depending on the tenses, there are active voices, and when you're transforming those sentences in active voices to passive voices, you will have to check the tense of the sentence again and transform according to the rules. Like present simple, reporters write news reports. Here, if you transform to passive voice, news reports are written by reporters. Present continuous, Michael is baking a brownie is being baked by Michael. It's time for you again to exercise your understanding. Let's check the sentences. Here, in the first exercise, are the sentences active or passive? You will have to make out. First, check the sentence. Number 1, Mary makes her bed every morning. Here, the answer will be active voice. Similarly, in the second exercise, the sentences are given and you'll have to make those sentences active sentences. The dinner is being made by him. Given is in passive. So your answer will be he is making the dinner. Remember, whenever we have continuous tenses like making, baking, walking, verbs with ing attached, we will always use being in the passive voice. Since made is the past participle in the passive voice, we shall be using present tense make in active voice. Likewise, solve the remaining sentences and get the correct answers. The letter has been written by Charlie, and the third is my story will be read by my teacher. Fourth, the wedding invitations have been sent out by us. All these sentences you can solve and check your understanding, test your understanding. That's all for today's video. Hope you have learned the topic well. Thank you, everyone.